Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
The San Diego Council on Literacy brings you Literacy for All with your host, Jose Cruz.
Welcome to the show. I'm Jose Cruz from the San Diego Council on Literacy. And let's see, today's date is actually May 14th, 2020. And I mentioned that because we're in the age of Corona and having to deal with everything that has come with that. In fact, I'm calling in from my office and not in the studio. A lot of us are just isolating. So in the course of the last couple of months, we've all had to do a lot of adjusting just in terms of how we're trying as much as possible to conduct business and at the same time be safe. So it's just one of those things, one of those very rare things that has affected our lives. So it's just the work goes on. There's still a need out there. In fact, in some ways, there's more need than usual. We have a lot of children who are out of school. The schools are closed down. And so there's been a need for information about online services and being able to school children at home. And it's been quite funny, and at the same time, I know a little bit painful for the parents who now have a greater appreciation for what teachers have to contend with when they send their kids to school. So it's not as easy as it looks, I guess. And so people are looking for help. They're looking for ways to fill the school hours at home. And we know how our schools have programming that runs 6 to 7 hours. Now imagine that at home. If you don't have children, that's what's happening. And so so many of us have been pushed into the age of automation. The technology that a lot of us may have used just a little bit, we're using a lot now. And parents are using it, and teachers are learning how to translate their, I guess that's the best word I can use right now, translate their lessons into something they can do on a screen, something that they can be filmed doing and then presenting to their students without actually being able to interact with them. So it's a time of innovation, and a lot of folks are doing what they can to adjust. And
Oh, Jose, this is Wade, and I don't want to interrupt your flow, but I was curious and just wanted to encourage. There's a lot of people out there that may have a little bit more free time, and there's ways things can be done virtually. And so if somebody wanted to volunteer to help you guys out, how would we go about doing that?
Well, that's actually a great question, Wade, because there's things that we've continued to do that we can do because people have contributed. In this period of time, we've actually dropped off approximately 2,000 brand new books for children at 5 elementary schools in the San Diego region. And so people are wondering, how are you able to do that if the kids aren't at school? Well, they still have to eat, so the schools are still providing breakfast and lunch and also food giveaway programs so that the families or the children actually show up at their elementary school. And so it was our plan all along to do these book giveaways. Some of those books were donated, brand new books, and some of those we purchased. And so we knew that now more than ever, again, because the kids are not at school, that there's a need for things that children can read to entertain themselves. And I know some of you might be thinking, well, wouldn't you have books at home already? And that's just not the case. We know that 60% of low-income children have no books at home. So a book is a big deal. And so where people can help out if they like, and I do want to talk about our Imagination Library program, but where if they want to help out and they have new books, or they want to donate money so that we can buy books at a real discount and get those out to the kids, we're happy to have that help. So that's one way that you can always help out. We know it's a great question, Wade, because we know that the tutoring can't take place the way it used to. The classroom instruction is being done via Zoom or some other outlet, and so it's we can't pretend that things are the same. They're not, and so we're having to adjust. So here we are, about 3 months into this thing. Yeah.
And so I hope you don't mind, but this is kind of, coming to mind at the moment. Let me invite anybody to contact me, Wade at WSRadio.com. And if you would like to read your favorite book, I will record that and then make that available for the Council on Literacy to, make available to the general public. So
that's so generous, Wade. And it's a great idea. It's a great idea.
And so I just wanted to throw that out again, Wade at WSRadio.com. And I'm sure your guest might have some interesting comments as well. So invite her to join in as you are ready.
Okay, very good. And I just wanted to add, if you do that kind of a reading, a recording, the publishers have actually loosened up their rules in terms of online readings and posting things. Up to June 30th of this year, you have permission pretty much from every publisher to read a book online. And you would think, well, couldn't I do that before? No, not legally. So there is permission. Make sure you give credit to the publisher. And we actually, I don't want people not to like folks. But there's actually been one publisher in particular that's been a little bit, let's say, strict about having their materials read, and that's the folks from the Dr. Seuss Enterprises, that they're very protective of their material. So that might be one. If you use Dr. Seuss, and you probably thought of doing that, don't. But otherwise, you can pretty much read anything and just give credit to the publishers, and just know that after June 30th, we can't do a whole lot unless we get an extension. So thanks, Wade. Is our next guest on the phone?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Well, great. This is Jennifer Gardiner. She is an author, an artist, illustrator. And Jennifer, welcome to the Literacy for All radio show. We're on WS Radio, the worldwide leader in Internet talk, and so glad to have you. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing really well.
Very good.
Real well.
So glad to hear it.
Thank
you. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I just want to, we get, in fact, we're going to have another author on the show after your segments are over. But tell me about the work that you're doing, why you're doing it, and maybe why you wanted to talk about it. We're glad to have you.
Well, thank you for having me on. And I just have a really interest of just touching kids. I have done a lot of artwork with kids, and then had the opportunity to write this book. And so when I'm with kids, it just seems like they bring so much to me that the way I created my story was because it was a trip around the pond I did with my granddaughter. And then, so with me doing the book, she's been able to see how a play day can come to life. And
very
so
good.
I just love...
Yeah, and that... Sorry.
I just love reaching kids like that.
And so would you say your book, your first book, and tell us the title of your book.
It's called A Trip Around the Pond.
Wonderful. And you would say that was inspired by interacting with children, connecting with them, and just producing it because of that connection?
Yes. Yes.
Very good. And so I think you and I are about the same age, and we're not going to tell anybody what that is. But
No.
but I wanted to bring that up because in terms of being a writer, this is something in the latter stages of your life, right? You haven't been a writer for that many years, a writer of children's books.
No. Let me tell you, it's been a dream of mine. I used to work with kids and transforming an auditorium, like if it was a jungle theme. I would have the kids help me. We would create 15-foot wingspan parakeets. You know, if it was a jungle theme, we would make trees that were 15 feet high. So my heart has always wanted to do a children's book because I really see as a child would see. I mean, that's probably my real passion. People that know me, they say, well, Jennifer, you seem like you're childlike. And that's kind of in a good way, that I appreciate the outdoors and little things that I see is kind of like what kids see. So that's my passion.
Very good. So it's safe to say that you haven't grown up. You still have that perspective, and that helps you with your writing.
Absolutely.
Now, did you do the artwork with the writing of the content for the book?
Yes. Actually, the illustrations come easier than the writing. And like right now, I'm working on illustrations for another author. So it comes very natural. When I read a story, it's easy for me to see what that book should look like.
Got it. So you're probably not working on a book right now, right?
I am working on a book right now.
Okay, very good. So we're going to go to break, Jennifer and listeners. We'll be right back just after this break. You're listening to the Literacy for All radio show on WS Radio, the worldwide leader in Internet talk.
Can you help a newborn baby in need? Sometimes the blessing of birth becomes complicated and perilous. Miracle Babies is there to help. Miracle Babies helps moms and dads give their all to their struggling little baby, but still need more. When you give to Miracle Babies, you help them give more. More skin-to-skin care, breast milk, and love. Go to miraclebabies.org and give right now. Be their miracle. Looking to be a successful entrepreneur? The virtual assistant industry continues to be a top choice for those looking to start their own business. The problem can be how to become a virtual assistant. Many turn to the Bible of the VA industry, the book, Virtual Assistant, the series, and it's the perfect guide for office managers, executive assistants, and other administrative professionals looking to make the transition from employee to successful business owner. Go to vatheseries.com to get your copy today.
Small businesses are the lifeblood of America's economy. Every Thursday, SBA Radio interviews industry professionals and is dedicated to provide small businesses with timely insights and innovations. Visit www.sbaradio.us for details.
Homeless veterans and their families are suffering and need our support, but many won't ask or don't know that help is within reach. Veterans Community Services is here to help. Amazingly, about 35% of the homeless in our neighborhoods are veterans with families. Low-income veterans or their friends are encouraged to contact Veterans Community Services and reach out for help with housing and other services. Call now, 800-974-9909.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The WorldLink program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
Can you imagine a world without children? A world where children don't play, or dream, or imagine?
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're working every day to find cures for diseases that strike down children, because we can't imagine a world without children. Can you?
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. To learn how you can help, log on to our website, stjude.org.
Donate cash, furniture, clothes, and other gently used household items to Father Joe's Villages and get a nice tax break in April. Every donation is tax deductible. Believe you can make a difference. Be Father Joe. Go to neighborhood.org or call 1-800-HOMELESS to donate today.
Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
The San Diego Council on Literacy brings you Literacy for All with your host, Jose Cruz.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Jose Cruz from the San Diego Council on Literacy. You're listening to the Literacy for All radio show. We're talking to Jennifer Gardiner. Jennifer, I'm online right now. I'm looking at the promotion for your book, A Trip Around the Pond, and I just love the cover, and I'm just guessing between covers there's a lot of wonderful, wonderful artwork. But it's beautiful, colorful, and intriguing. I want to read a little bit of the description here of your book. It says, Jennifer Gardiner's passion for telling stories through her art has led her to author and illustrate her first children's book. And we're going to talk about your next book. And this is inspired by your grandchildren. And this is something you enjoy doing. This tells the story of Georgette May's fanciful search for the city of Paris. And after complaining of boredom, Georgette's granny encourages her to spend her day traveling around the pond, which I gather is the world. And along the way, Georgette encounters many adventures. Was there a specific day where something like this was happening?
Yes, yes. Actually, in Utah, and we have a pond. Sitting on the front porch, and my granddaughter says, Granny, I want to go to Paris. I said, you do? So it was something that she really wanted to do. And in my mind, I thought, well, that's no problem. I'll just go create an Eiffel Tower and put it around the pond. But in real life, it didn't happen quite that way. She was ready to go, and I didn't have time to make the Eiffel Tower. She was getting her little wagon, her little choo-choo train. She was gathering everybody that she wanted to take with her. And I'm just thinking, oh, my gosh, she's never going to find Paris. We set off around the pond an hour and a half later. She's at the very end of the pond, and she goes, oh, Paris. And I said, yes. So in her mind, she saw Paris.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
So you wrote the book. How long did it take you to write it after this day?
Oh, this was my first. So writing it and illustrating, I have at least like 400 hours in it. But that was because of my first trial. I think my second book will be a lot quicker.
And I'd love to have been there maybe when you presented a copy of this book to your granddaughter. Was that a special occasion?
Yeah, it was very special. I was in the kitchen, and she looked at the front cover, and she kept looking at it, and she was 4. And she goes, Granny, that's me. I said, absolutely. And then she even enjoys the story even more today than the first time I read it to her. So it's become part of the family now. Yes.
Great story. I never asked this question, but I'm going to ask you. I mean, I need to get a copy of your book for one, but two, how well known is your book? I don't want to say how are sales, but I did. I just said it. Okay. How are people finding out about your book?
I have hit the pavement hard. Like I go to street fairs. I've gone to, the public women's, like when they have a get-together with women, I set up a little booth. People will get on my website, will order my book, and just word of mouth for me is done real well. And then through, it was the publisher Ex Libris, book sells on the Amazon, and I just now put my book with a voice so Audible, and it's going to be they okayed everything, so that'll be out probably in the next month and a half.
Very
So
good.
I've got
Very
sound
good.
effects
Yep.
to the book, and just learning a lot. It's just been a tremendous experience.
And tell me, and I'm not sure how I'm going to assume that you are really sensitive to this, and sometimes writers aren't. I mean, they're into writing the story, but in terms of the difficulty level, the ability for a child to read a book like this one, what were you thinking in terms of the vocabulary and sentence length, and just who was your audience? What were you thinking?
I was thinking it would reach like 4 to 8 years old, but the 4-year-old knowing that the parents would be reading the book to the child. But then over time, I would think like an 8-year-old would be able to read the book.
Very good. And parents have to love this book because it kind of answers the question, and you bring it up, after complaining of boredom, which children will do. And here's a story about a child's imagination and yours. Just the assets that we have that maybe sometimes are under-tapped. So what is going to be the subject of your second book?
I'm working on a book, and it's going to be called Counting the Bears. And I believe this book will be able to teach kids on how to count with tally marks. Because in the story, it'll say, like, I see one bear, and then you put down the one tally mark, and then the adventure goes on, and then they see, the little boy sees 2 bears, so you add 2 more tally marks. And then you know how when you get to 4 and then you cross out for the 5? Well, in this book, the child will be able to count up to 20 bears. And I remember when I was younger, when I learned tally marks, and that was just huge for me. And I was such a little tom girl, but I was always counting in tally marks. And I think it's just a fun way to bring in, this is how you can count by 5s, once you get them all set up.
So would the reader literally make a tally mark, or is it already in the book?
Well, the book will kind of show it, but if I read the story, I would have the kids do the tally marks with me as I read the story. Because I've gone to schools, I've gone to libraries, I've done presentations, so that's how I would present the book, is to have all the kids write the tally mark every time they see a bear.
Very good. Now, you're doing other artwork, is that correct?
Yes. I'm working on a book right now. The gal's going to be publishing it, and the author is Lisa Waters-Smith, and the book is going to be called The Rainbow Chasers, and it's kind of a true story that's happened within her family, but she's bringing all of her kids into this, and they're out to look for the rainbow, and they don't see anything at the very end of the rainbow, but all the colors of the rainbow becomes like their little treasured, what they bring back home, the things that they find. So, anyways, I'm just
as an illustrator, I mean, that sounds like a fun project.
It is. It is. It's been fun.
And Lisa Waters-Smith, has she done other books before?
No, this is Lisa Smith, and her maiden name is Waters.
Oh, okay, got it. Very good.
Yeah. In fact, she's a teacher, and she just...
1 minute. We're going to go into our third segment and say bye to Jennifer. But Jennifer, we want people to be able to access your book and your work. How can you do that?
They can go to JenniferGardnerBooks.com, and that's on my website, and they can order it there. And Gardner is spelled Gardiner.
Very good.
Really yep.
Yeah, I think you've done a really good job just with the cover, and I love the concept. And I look forward to getting my copy of A Trip Around the Pond. This is by Jennifer Gardiner. Jennifer, let's have you back on so we can talk about your next work. Okay?
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
So glad to have you. You've been listening to Jennifer Gardiner and Jose Cruz and the Literacy for All radio show on WS Radio, the worldwide leader in Internet talk.
Nowadays, internet devices are an integral part of your home. Everyone in your family has a smartphone, tablet, or a computer. Life is easier knowing that all your devices are secured and your family can surf the internet carefree. ESET Multi-Device Security Pack does just that. One license for all your devices. With ESET, it's simple to stay protected and save money. Enjoy safer technology with ESET Multi-Device Security Pack at ESET.com. That's ESET.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Tired of presentations with no impact, no inspiration, and no traction? Do dull speakers have you and your team disengaged and distracted by smartphones? Christopher McAuliffe brings energy, insights, and 2 decades of experience, delivered with punch, humor, and heart. Your team will leave energized, uplifted, and with a sense of purpose. Visit ChristopherMcAuliffe.com to bring some heat to your next speaking engagement. McAuliffe. ChristopherMcAuliffe.com. Nowadays, internet devices are an integral part of your home. Everyone in your family has a smartphone, tablet, or a computer. Life is easier knowing that all your devices are secured and your family can surf the internet carefree. ESET Multi-Device Security Pack does just that. One license for all your devices. With ESET, it's simple to stay protected and save money. Enjoy safer technology with ESET Multi-Device Security Pack at ESET.com. That's ESET.com. Tired of presentations with no impact, no inspiration, and no traction? Do dull speakers have you and your team disengaged and distracted by smartphones? Christopher McAuliffe brings energy, insights, and 2 decades of experience, delivered with punch, humor, and heart. Your team will leave energized, uplifted, and with a sense of purpose. Visit ChristopherMcAuliffe.com to bring some heat to your next speaking engagement. McAuliffe. ChristopherMcAuliffe.com.